When I first discovered photography, it felt like stepping into an entirely new universe full of endless possibilities. Each image I scrolled past was a spark igniting my curiosity and fueling my desire to learn, do, and create more. But as I fumbled with my camera trying to capture the magic I so much admired, frustration quickly set in. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't match the perfection I saw online. I blamed my gear for it, and I convinced myself that upgrading was the answer. For a while, that became my truth. Yet as I've journeyed deeper into this art form, I made a vital realization. It wasn't my gear that needed the biggest upgrade. It was my understanding, my vision, and my skill. Now with Black Friday just around the corner, I feel that familiar pull coming back. And I'm talking of course about the gear acquisition syndrome, which tempts me to believe that another piece of gear or another gadget is what I need to unlock my true potential. And while there is nothing wrong with treating yourself, I found those guiding principles to keep me grounded, and I want to share those realizations with you because they might be able to help you decide whether this next purchase is truly necessary or it is just another distraction on the path to growth. I used to fantasize how a new camera would transform my photography, making my shots sharper, richer, and more impressive. But here is what I realized. Sometimes we chase gear in order to distract ourselves from the hard work that is to improve our skills. Truth is that understanding light, mastering composition, knowing how to use our current gear is far more valuable than any spec upgrade. So now, before buying any piece of gear, I am asking myself this. Is it my camera that really needs upgrading? Or is it my knowledge? Have I explored every aspect and every feature of my current gear? Or am I just looking for another shortcut? I once fell for the allure of the full-frame cameras, thinking that a bigger sensor would automatically mean better photos. But bigger isn't always better. Full-frame cameras are bulky, hindering spontaneity. And what about megapixels? More isn't always merrier. My Fujifilm X-T5 taught me this. The larger files aren't just hard to store, they can also slow down your editing process. Sometimes what you gain in specs, you lose in practicality. If you're enjoying this video so far, hit the like button and consider subscribing with the bell. Now let's talk about an investment that can actually transform your photography. Lenses, I found, is where magic truly lies. Its focal length is a different way of seeing the world, and its lens has taught me a different lesson. My first experience with a lens was with an 18-55 zoom kit lens that taught me to be versatile and adapt to the unpredictable. This is a very valuable lesson that I kept with me while shooting with any other lens to this date. And then I started shooting with prime lenses that taught me to accept what I have and shoot with intentionality, slow down, and savor every frame. Wide-angle lenses challenged me to rethink my approach to composition, to embrace the complexity of the streets and weave multiple elements into one story without relying on blurry backgrounds to hide imperfections. The 50mm prime made me consider my distance from my subjects, drawing me closer when intimacy was required. Then came the longer lenses, the 85 and the 125mm lenses. These lenses required me to look further ahead, pre-visualizing each shot to make images that almost feel like they're coming out of a movie. Experimenting with lenses became a masterclass in seeing, forcing me to adapt and grow. But despite how important lenses have been for my development, experience also made me realize that limitations in gears can be opportunities in disguise, pushing me to focus and get more creative with what I had. And here is another important lesson I've learned. Price tags aren't always the best indicators of value. I discovered that going from a $300 to a $1,000 camera can often improve your image quality. But paying $2,000 or even more for a camera often means that you pay for features you may never use, without getting any real upgrade in how your images look. To get good quality gear in good prices, I started buying used. We're talking about high quality cameras and high quality lenses that have already captured countless memories and moments, but they still had plenty to offer. And with the savings, I could focus on the things that truly resonated with me. Investing in used gear taught me to be intentional with my purchases. Appreciate the gear I already have, take good care of it because I might want to sell it down the line as I'm evolving past it. I also learned not to put every dollar or every pound into a camera body. Lenses are often far more meaningful investments because they shape how you see the world through your camera and they greatly influence the look of your images. It's essential to be mindful of the lenses a camera system can accommodate. When you are choosing a camera, you're not just buying a body, you are investing into an ecosystem of lenses and creative opportunities. That's why when you're selecting gear, thinking ahead and being intentional is crucial. And I learned to be cautious of those so-called amazing deals. If you didn't really need this lens before going on sale, do you really need it now? Those sales often push low-quality gear designed to tempt bargain hunters, those that are hoping to spend the least amount of cash to get the most amount of plastic. If you are serious about your craft, focus on gear that serves a purpose, not just flashy items that are meant for show. Learn to identify good quality gear that will inspire you to go out and shoot more. This is what the Fuji X-T3 and the Ricoh GR3X did for me when I wasn't feeling like going out with my Sony 7 III anymore. Quite the irony. The most transformative realization. As I said in the beginning of the video, gear was rarely the problem. Usually the problem was my knowledge. So I invested in workshops, learning from people I really admired, and I started diving into photo books made by the masters. The wisdom I gained reshaped my vision and taught me how to see the world through a more refined lens. By studying how others, more experienced than me, saw the world, I began to develop a style that felt more true to me. After years of contemplation, trials and error, I finally realized photography is about the dance between you and your gear, the way you move together to create something extraordinary. Your camera is an extension of you and it is really important, but it is not the source of your creativity. Once I began to see it this way, my photos started to improve, not because I had better gear, but because I understood the connection between me and my gear. And yes, this often requires experimentation. So don't feel bad if you want to experiment with new gear. This is not the point of this video. Just make sure that what you get is what you really need. So before you make your next purchase, take a step back and reflect on your journey. What is it that you truly need? What is that one piece of gear that would really take your photography one step forward, and why? If you have a clear answer to these questions, then you know exactly what you need to do. I would love to hear your stories. How do you decide when to invest in new gear and what lessons have you learned from your purchases? Drop a comment below and let's continue the conversation there. If this video resonated with you, hit the like button and consider subscribing with the bell. That was all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I will see you on the streets. Bye bye.